clandestine 9 to reparations. Are you spooked yet? We'll find out. Welcome to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn, and I hope you guys are doing well out there. It is Friday, and I will try not to make this too painful, but I kind of want to kind of handle this stream a little bit differently, but hopefully I'll say something that's, at least thought provoking and maybe even inspiring. But I've got a couple of liners in the headlines. We've got a couple of distractions. We've got reparations in the air. We've got the clandestine 9, what I'm calling clandestine 9. And I'm going to tell you all about that. And right after this, after I give thanks to our patron subscribers and, of course, the viewers like yourself. This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Marcy T., Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this. All right. Thanks so much for tuning into this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And if you're not sure whether you're tuning in or not, I appreciate you very much for considering. So we're going to get into, I kind of want to just speak a little bit candidly about some of the things that are going on. For one, I want to talk to you about, there is an article. I want to start with some commentary on an article. And it was concerning Blacks. It's, to me, it kind of speaks to, dare I say, is there such thing as a conspiracy theory when we talk about clandestine, mythological, or folklore? This one piece I want to get into talks about, generally, it looks like, it makes it seem like, the White House is trying to forge some type of bridge or something. But according to an article via Politico, the Politico article, I want to give you the title of it, and then I kind of want to break into it in my own way. I just kind of want to talk to you guys just kind of candidly is what I would like to do. So the title of this article, The Outrage, I'm going to go ahead and plug it in for you. I'm going to give it to you on the screen, but I just want to talk. I kind of want to give you what I consider some landscaping on the subject and the groups at hand. Okay. And it's so funny how this came up. We talked about the Zoom call the last time that I came on. We talked about the Biden regime and all the promises and all the hitching the wagon to the Hispanics. And lo and behold, you've got this, what they call the Divine Nine, or what I'm calling the clandestine 9. Some people, I've read some things about, these, dare I say, like these fraternal orders. And to me, that this actual clandestine 9 is what I'm referring to them as. To me, they're kind of in that same to me, they're kind of on the lower order, but they're still controlled by white liberals. So to me, that's really all they need. They're taking their cues, still taking cues from white liberals. So that's pretty much all the damage, that they need to do. So we'll start with that. Then I want to go into this little talk about the reparations. And there again, there's another spooked kind of moment in which I don't know if people realize when they get spooked, or do they know what spooked is? So I kind of want to play around in that area, but I'm going to plug it into the screen for you. And thank you for tuning in. And thank you for considering for tuning in on the Spooked. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to this segment. So let's dig right in. I'm going to share the screen with you. I just want you to be able to see this title and just kind of let you know what I'm on about, just from, you can get the visual and all, and you can see that to me, it just seems like some people just can't quite discern between things that are their reality versus folklore, or their reality versus, some of this stuff to me is borderline. It's kind of blasphemous. It's kind of, it's, to me, it's a darkness there that I think is very unhealthy, for lack of a better word. So let's go ahead and pull that up. Okay. All right. So here's some allusions for you. I don't even know if it's even fair to call them that at this point. So this first article that we have comes from Politico. I want you to see this. Okay, so it's entitled "White House Builds Bridges with One of Black Community's Most Powerful Groups." Now, see, and I want you to understand something. If it's the most powerful group, then how is it that you could probably survey 10 Black people just randomly, and they may not have any idea who these people are, or who they aspire to represent, or what they're supposed to be representing. But I tell you what, they haven't walked away with any fruits. Okay. So that's, they'll tell you that. They might be able to give you that. If you're dealing with somebody, depending on who you're talking to, they'll probably tell you, well, we don't know who they are. And they haven't done anything. So this particular article, I want you to see who's pictured in this article. I will leave it on the screen here. So look at the top of this. To me, this is how these things work. So it looks like if I were to draw a pyramid, the Kamala Harris would be at the top of this pyramid. And what I gather from this is that Kamala is actually the VP. Is actually she's the chair, the tool, the link to the gatekeepers. Okay. And I think this was probably instrumental in her elevation in terms of this position that she's in. But I just want to circle back really quick and say, this is what I'm considering the Black Gatekeeper Society. The clandestine nine, aka the divine nine, is what the Politico writer has referred to. And apparently this was unveiled at the White House. And to me, it's my contention that, these people are gatekeepers. It wouldn't just be them. I mean, you do have a Black caucus, which to me, they vote with whatever. They vote for things that are detrimental as well. They vote for things that are detrimental as well. And they don't mind. They have no problem doing that. So what I'm saying here is, to me, when people start using words like divine and all these kinds of things, I got a third eye chakra for my ancestors. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to be real about life. I don't have to realize we live here now. We live now. We live here. I don't have to realize any of that. I can just keep indulging in a fantasy world and pretend like, these particular people, as they say, are for me, or for my advancement, or for my development, and for the people around me, or for my community's development. So in here, I'm going to give you a little bit of a summation rather than read it. I may read some of it verbatim for you, but to me, here again, they work really hard. We used to talk about this back in the day when Kamala Harris was running, that how hard they worked to establish her, what I consider her honorary black card, from what did she ended up on the Breakfast Club, pulling her edges, revealing her edges, in the black community, that means basically pulling your bonnet back and showing people the edges, which would be the closest part to your skin. Your hairline basically is where those edges were, which, what she was trying to reveal didn't show, where she failed the edges test as well. So let's just add that. So there were all kinds of, talking heads about what she likes to cook, what's her favorite dish. And then of course they revealed her AKA status on national TV, or I'm not even sure if that was honorary as well. So, it's like, to me, this whole profile was manufactured, and all she has to do is jump out there and say she's black, and then you don't see her again until there's some kind of something else at stake, something hardcore that's at stake. Hello to Tyrant's Bane, TDO. I appreciate you for coming in. Hope you're doing well on this Friday. So what I am going to do, I'm going to drop this link out here. I'm going to drop this link. You guys can pick up the phone whenever you want. And Politico's at it again. That's the opening piece of tonight's stream. And then we're going to go just a little bit into the reparations. Nothing about that conversation surprises me, but we'll wait. I'll wait. I'll wait to get into that. But yes, this is Politico with the clandestine Divine Nine. Like, they talk about this as if it's a common knowledge to the black community who these people are. I wouldn't have known who they were had I not read the Politico article. Okay, so I'll just keep going here. I appreciate you guys so much for taking the time on your Friday night. You could be anywhere, but you decided to come here. So here's the thing. The thing about Kamala is, I'm surprised. A lot of her profile reminded me, the building of her profile reminded me a little bit of HRC. That would be Hillary Rodham Clinton with the hot sauce in the bag stunt. I'm like, I got it. I get it. So for their next trick, maybe they'll tell the voters next time, that she carries buttermilk in her purse to go with her hot cornbread. I don't know what they're going to do. See where it leads you. And that's the kind of things that they do. They really kind of play on things they play on, dare I say, cultural things, or I can even say even Southern pleasantries, because to me, I think cornbread is a delicacy of the South. That's a Southern tradition. That's a Southern a meal. And that's just where they go. But however, enough of the digression there. So according to this article, the Divine Nine are called up to ignite, to meet more anger and, control the people from the top to the low hanging fruit. And so now they're saying, okay, we got to get you guys involved. We need to let them know. They're saying, oh, we got to get these voting rights and policing together. And, we got to get the black voters support, just more subterfuge. Is what they always do. They did that, and then they turn around, and then we have the reparations going on, for people that illegally break into the country. That's what you get. So, but here's the thing, the outrage, I'll get on that in just a second specifically, but this is not the first time people have been breaking into the country. No, it's not. It's been happening, and I'll get on to that in just a little bit. But here's the point of contention here. Is they keep telling blacks in the 21st century that voting rights are is their issue. You got 99 problems, but voter suppression, repression, that's your problem. That's your problem. Your main problem. Okay. And then to me, just for example, if you guys know somebody, a black person or any American who out there who wanted to vote, who was desperately wanting to vote, or just clinging to the desire to vote, and they could not vote, or they couldn't get a ride with their neighbor, or they couldn't get a ride with somebody from church, or they couldn't get a ride, with somebody, they couldn't get a random ride. They just couldn't make it happen. How did that work out for them? Okay, in the last election, of course, they used the lowest common denominator, which they consider blacks to be, to achieve the current result. So, and that's the thing. You achieved your result, but you're still angry. So what did you win? What or how did your target group or sheep win if you're still using the same talking points and narratives? How are you still how are you still not getting what you think is due to you? How are you still not seeing what you want to see if you're winning? Are you winning? Do you call is that what you guys call winning? I'm just saying, I mean, am I supposed to reimagine what winning means? Is that what I'm supposed to do? I'm just asking. Just asking on here. So let me make sure you guys can still see that. So I just wanted you to see this headline. I'm almost done here, but yeah, I'm just going to keep going here. So hold on just a second. So just really quickly before I continue, this looks similar. It's not the same people from that Zoom call that I showed about a week ago, but this is formerly known as the National Pan-Hellenic Council, the Divine Nine. Represents 9 historically Black fraternities and sororities and their alumni. According to this, it is arguably the most powerful organization in the Black community. And until now, they've largely been an untapped resource for administrations looking to connect with Black voters. So here we go. Here we go with the fluff. Until now, they've largely been untapped. So what are they gonna behold what? When you tap them, what are they gonna do? I'll tell you what they're gonna do. They're gonna keep the narrative going that's always been going. They're going to take their cues from their white liberals, and they're gonna keep the narrative going and keep the Black people or the people that are sleeping. They're going to keep them rallying and thinking under the pretense, keep them holding on that these evil people over here are trying to take their voting rights. Meanwhile, people are running in the country through people's backyards on the southern border and wherever else they can get through. Meanwhile, I'm just saying, there's a link out there if you want to jump in. All right. So I'm going to keep going here. So, and then this is the famous saying, the VP, you see this quote all the time. I'm paraphrasing Harris herself. We did it, Joe. Or did you do it? If so, what did you do? So less than 9 months later, they're back at the 1960s plight to usher in voting rights for illegals who are now up for reparations. Okay, they've imported these people for their new base. To me, to the Democrat that I don't even want to say Democrats and Republicans anymore. To a certain faction in this country or a certain faction of class order, Blacks are basically the stepping stones. They use that's the group that they use to advance their agendas or to advance their power. And that's all they're ever going to be. It's all they're ever going to be. They'll throw you a few crumbs, sell you some pipe dreams, promise you all these things, keep you angry, try to get you to relive the 1960s, or for some people, just keep feeding the victimhood or creating more victimhood. That's all they're going to do. That's all you're going to be is a stepping stone. So the stepping stone class is well established, okay? All right, so according to this, hold on just a second here. Sorry. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. So I'm doing a little bit of paraphrasing here so I don't read this thing to you guys. Here's the thing. The group, if the group is so divine, I'm going to tell you, I could probably ask 10 people in my family, who are these divine people? Or what does that mean? And they would not know. So how is it that this group has so much power and so much presence on this earth that most Black people would not know what the hell you were talking about if you said that to them. They wouldn't know. They would honestly not know. They would be genuine. They don't know. And, you know, and the thing is, here's the thing. I think I don't know the percentage of people that are in a part of the Pan-Hellenic, you know, groups. I don't know, but I think it's a much smaller percentage than, you know, because that's the elite. To me, that's the Black elite. Okay. Would I say they're connected to some people? Yes, absolutely. But would I say they're so powerful, and their wells and their springs and their wells have been untapped? You know, this thing is fluffy as all get out. Flurries. Okay. Just fluffy writing that they like to do. But here's the thing. These are the people that white liberals tell Black liberals to call their leaders. So they told you to call whoever they tell you to call your leader is who you're gonna call. But no official election. Nobody in the Black community held any kind of election that I'm aware of that said, "Hey, these people are the Divine Nine," or, you know, we do this ritual every year, you know, in my church or even at a community center, that we elevated these people or these groups to be in those positions. But why are they there? It's because they've been given that divine title. They've been given that, because I think when I say clandestine, I think these people meet all the time. They exist, but they really don't want you to know they exist. And they said, oh, until this administration, like trying to make this administration shine based on some presence or some invitation that they may have had at the White House. But they've been around, I'm sure. They've been around. And then they even expose themselves. They talk about how they need to get involved, and they talk about how they basically want to go to the lowest common denominator. And that would be in the schools. Okay. So here again, the group is so divine that I guess they have no problem with the Biden administration cutting funding for HBCUs and making them a part of the bone scrap, you know, the bone scrap or the chicken fight over the crumbs that they have for the HSI and the minority serving institutions and the Hispanic serving institutions. How powerful can they be? They're powerful in suppression and repression. They're not moving anybody forward. Okay. They keep their thumb on the people is what they do. Okay. So where's the discussion? Where's the discussion on the HBCU funding? I mean, I wonder, you know, does Biden tell them that they're not Black enough, or to hell with them if he's promoting people of other representations, or that, you know, I'm just asking during the White House meeting. I'd love to be a fly on the wall. And by the way, if any of you out there have this meeting anywhere, please pull it up. If you have the meeting from this clandestine Divine Nine, if you have that, please share it with us at any time. I'd love to know how that went. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. So one thing for sure, they are everywhere in the schools, you know, and then they always do this whole thing. I'm going to go into, there's a quote in here. There's always this talk about a seat at the table. It's always a talk about the seat at the table. You guys have heard it before. But where does that get you? So I'm going to pull it out here. I have a specific excerpt here I want to go to. Thank you guys so much for your patience. I really appreciate it. So here, and I quote from this article. It says, quote, "We've been at this for quite a while," the Divine Nine says, "and have had people in so many seats on those political tables for years." That sounds like a failure to me. You got people at the table for years? And we know that makes a huge difference in terms of making sure that your voice is significant in terms of what it could do, said Beverly Smith, current national president of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Quote, "So it's the start of discussion with this administration, but it's work the Divine Nine has been doing since its inception. Okay, so what does that work look like? If anybody out there knows, look, I welcome any kind of dissent, but please let it be based on something that you can either cite or something factual. I think we have enough, I think the fountain of emotion is full. Okay, we all have the emotion is kind of useless, but it pretty much blocks and it clouds your judgment and it clouds logic. Okay, so if these people have had so many seats at the political table, then what does the Black Caucus do? I'm just saying, how powerful are they? Why do you have so many seats? But where's the fruit? Where's the fruit? I mean, I don't want to sit at any table that long and not come and walk away with anything, right? I don't call that success. I call it subterfuge. And we have enough of that. Okay, so according to this also, this is Brown says that building a relationship with the Divine Nine can only aid in gaining some of the trust back. So they acknowledge that Blacks have lost trust. They didn't go into it, but it says trust back because, quote, they're heavily embedded in our community. All right. So we need the Divine Nine to gain trust back. To get trust back in what? Back in what? It's just delusion. I mean, is it delusional? Hocus pocus, blowing smoke. What are they getting trust back in? Okay, wait, you can't restore something when there's nothing there. You have nothing. You have no fruit. I mean, I'm sure there is a divinity. I'm sure there is divinity, but it's not in them. I'm not attacking them. I'm attacking the fruit. There is no fruit. It's marginal at best. Marginal. But I wouldn't call it fruit. Okay, so yeah, you do have, there are teachers. And here again, it says there are leaders. But I don't know. I don't even think many people don't see teachers as leaders. This is what you're being told. They are leaders. I would say 60 years ago, 70 years ago, more so then, but not now. Okay, they're controlled. I find, I'm with a teaching background and teaching experience myself, I find that a big majority of teachers happen to be liberal. I don't know what the stats are. I can't prove my hypothesis, and I don't have a method of even coming up with it, but I've got pretty good leads. It wouldn't take long. It wouldn't even take long to figure it out. And some of them are in denial, whether they are or not. So yeah, so you got that. So you have, and then I'm going to round this out. So you've got people, these political strategists that they recruit. This Latasha Brown, who's a political strategist, co-founder of Black Votes Matter. Where's Black Lives Matter, by the way? Has anybody seen them? Have they dissolved the group? Would they admit if they dissolve the group? Or are they clandestine too? Because the thing about it is, the sad reality is most of these people, most of the groups that are allegedly pro-Black and for the advancement, like NAACP, I could go on, many of these groups were started by white liberals. So you don't get to control anything. You don't get to control who's representing you. And that's no different today. You stupid foo is here. He says, I'm going to break here. He says, Moloch and Baal worshipers. And you stupid foo says they were a distraction created by the elites to push agendas. I think we have enough proof to support that. You stupid food. Thank you for bringing us that. Thank you. You know, like my grandma used to say, the truth outshines everything. It cuts deep. Some people say it hurts. Cuts hurt, even the smallest ones. Okay, so here again, this is from Latasha Brown, the political strategist quote. She says, "We're not just a tool to participate for them to get power." The Black community, she talks about the Black community. They're not happy because they're not getting movement on key issues. So there we go back to again when I said we were talking about voting and policing. That's what your leaders are saying that your key issues are. Those are your key issues. I'm going to be honest. You got a lot of people that don't. I'm not saying all because you have to know, and you have to know. I know that you don't know all people, but a lot of people don't even vote. And they happen to be Black. A lot of people don't even vote. So how can you say that is the key? Those are key issues. That's a part of the agenda that they need to push to get their new voter base in. And you have all these people, and you hear silence. I don't know. I hear, dare I say, the conservative ilk talking about this whole illegal immigration reparations thing right now. But I haven't heard a peep out of these liberals, out of these diehard liberals about it. I haven't heard a thing, but they would attack me for trying to show them, trying to help them put the pieces, trying to give them the big picture. But they won't even accept, they probably can't even accept that. Okay. So according to this, Latasha Brown, our participation is literally driven by our own desire to have power, end quote, Brown said. Quote, so if we're going to lose power in supporting you, then what's the value in that? And that's what I'm saying. All the seats at the table in the world don't matter if it bears no fruit. So I'm at a loss, but I just wanted you to see that, Politico comes in every week. Last week, they were saying that Biden was pitting the Hispanic serving institutions against the HBCUs. This week, the Divine Nine, clandestine nine, that most Black people don't have any idea who these people are or who they profess and who they desire to be, who they aspire to be. They have no idea who these people are. So now they're commenting on that. So Politico, yeah, you guys will just keep it up. I'm sure you'll have something else next week. It's even more irritating. But yeah, I'm just saying they talk about here, this was an hour-long in-person meeting with the council. And this is the first time all 9 organizations have been invited to the White House. Is this the G? You would think this is a global summit or something. It's just such fluff. I just can't even, with all the stuff that's going on, this is what they're focusing on. All right, so I'm going to move us on. I'm going to take a quick little break because I've burned quite a few minutes on that. But yeah, it's just gotten so old and so useless. All this symbolism is just totally useless. Useless. If you want to do something, if you're looking to do a good deed, just tell the truth or get out of the way. All this fluff and folklore stuff is dead. It's powerless. So, are you spooked yet? We'll see. We'll come back. I'm just going to talk just a little bit on the whole reparations deal. I'm not going to talk a lot because that's a broken record. These things are cyclical to me because I've covered so much about the migration and migration compact but it was almost like there was no regard for it, whether it was signed or not. So, and I haven't found any documentation. That says that we are in that migration compact. I was under the impression that we were not in 2018. So I'm going to take a quick break and come right back. And you stupid foo. It says, they invited the quote, stomp the yard in quote groups to the summit. So powerful, right? I mean, give me a break. Hello, Anthony Van Zandt. It's always a distraction. It's always a distraction. And there's no more to me than the bread bowls and the entertainment. If you put entertainment above education, above literacy, above people thinking for themselves, what are you doing? You can't stand for very much. You have no integrity. And then this is one other thing. I swear I'm going to go to the break. You know, I hear some of these people. Who is it? The guy, Noah. I can't think of his name. I can't think of his last name right now. But he has his own show or whatever. And you hear people mocking people on the word research. They said, you hear all these people saying they're doing research and basically mocking people for literacy. You're mocking people for reading on the subject, which kids are encouraged to do, or at least they used to be encouraged to do, at least even on a book report back in the day. But if you do any research on mocktails or anything, you are, that one. Trevor Noah. Yeah. I remember seeing a clip of him mocking people for saying, well, all these people saying they're doing research, they haven't done this, that basically you haven't gone to college and you haven't done this and done that. And that's like, to me, that's the litmus test. That's at the top of every elite's litmus test. Or Noah, I just think he's just another plant. He's been planted for a while. But I'm saying I've seen people mocking people for doing research, and research to me, it starts with, literacy. So it's encouraging people, talking down to people for doing research, whether that means they're reading, whether that means they're conducting their own, people do go to school, kids are encouraged to research. Children are encouraged to research, whether they realize it's research or not. But you hear all this, all this mockery, and it's the most disgusting thing ever. Like, just keep on being dumb. Like, don't ask any questions, just do. And if you don't, we're going to punish you because if you do it and you don't believe it, we're going to punish you even more. So obviously we're not capable of reading or researching. We shouldn't be doing that in the 21st century. We shouldn't be doing that in 2021. Because we didn't go to, to school for biology, or, we didn't go to medical school, or we don't research anything. Just believe what you're told. So I'll be right back, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll just talk just a little bit on reparations. And then I think I have a couple of clips for you. I hope I can show you a clip if they haven't pulled it down. The Bronx today, there's a lot going on in New York, and it looks like a Chipotle was at the forefront of this particular clip that I want to show. So I'm going to try to do that and let you see how they're swinging and kicking back up there. It's kind of interesting. All right. Hi, Luciano. How are you? All right. I'll be right back, guys, right after this. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Reparations are right after this. This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Marcy T., Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm not going to spend too much time on this situation. I'm sure by now you guys have heard about the possibility of the administration, the regime. Joe Biden may pay border crossers the $450K each in reparations. So I'm just going to give you just a little bit what I have on that. I don't want to read this particular article to you. But I do have, I do. I mean, comparatively speaking, it is a disgrace. Yes, it is. And this is from the Wall Street Journal is, I think, the main source in which a lot of editors, a lot of people jumped on. And this is from newsbinding.com. And of course, the BBC.com. You can find an article there. And so let me just get into this just a little bit. Okay. So let me just give you, I just want to say this. First of all, as outraged as we can be about this, there's nothing new about this. Okay. If you guys don't remember, we can go back to 2018. There was a huge surge. There was a surge on the border. There was talk about caravans. The caravans were denied. The left media or the progressives and everyone, we were called the conspiracy theorists big time back then. They said, oh, there's no caravan coming. I mean, you had huge figures coming out. And I think even Obama may have been one of the ones coming out, said there's no caravan coming up. And in fact, there was. And you guys remember, I think you remember the media and how that was actually covered. Okay. But at the same time, they recruited. It seems like the NGOs were a part of the caravan. And it just seems like this is a part of the cycle. I say this stuff is cyclical. Every midterm, every poignant moment is, for either changing the tables or changing the direction we're going in. These caravans show up. Okay. So it was 2018 fall, that particular election cycle, there was a lot up for grabs. I know there were a lot of people. There were, so you guys need to vote these people out, vote them out. And at the same time, while all of this was going on, the media took photos of post tear gas, after the projectiles were thrown at the border patrol at the southern border. Okay, that's where the narrative about the kids being ripped from the parents and all that kind of a bit. That's the year. That is the most vivid year. The most vivid year to me. And then, of course, at the same time, the Migration Compact. I've done quite a few videos on that. The Migration Compact was to promote free and basically unrestricted and safe. They called it safe, free and safe migration. And who picks up the tab for that? Well, guess what? The nation that they enter picks up the tab. It was never meant for anybody to earn their keep or to come here and enter the workforce. It was never, that's not what the Migration Compact was doing. Okay. Then it was due December of 2018. I do remember that. The signatures were due. Many of the nations had signed it. Many had signed it. But from under my impression that the U.S. the Trump administration did not sign the compact, but they were still coming. And we were also hearing about how the people how the WhatsApp phones were being used to communicate back and forth. The children that got here and the numbers being written on their arms and all kinds of narratives came out at the time. But what's the truth? This happens this is cyclical now. It's happening around every midterm. Every voting period, every let me call it every voter. Let's every quarter. How about that? Let's just put it out there. Put it down to the cob, okay? All right. So this situation, I'm wondering how the people, how the loyal voters of the Democrats actually feel about this. I mean, have you guys heard anything? I haven't heard any outrage or any of that. I haven't heard it. And I would say you're probably not going to hear it. You're probably not going to hear it. You're not going to hear it from the Divine Nine, the clandestine nine, or whatever they're cooking up, fairy tales they're cooking up. So, and I don't want to get into all of that because I have my own ideas about some of this stuff, but I'll just keep going. But in the meantime, how does this administration plan to pay for this stuff? How they plan to pay for anything? It's like it's just taxing. We're going to tax the wealthy on large firms, 15% minimum tax, additional 5% tax on incomes more than $10 million annually, another 3% tax on incomes above 25 million. I mean, yeah, this is all, this is, I tell you, it never goes. What is this a part of the social bills or what? It's just, they're just spending money like toilet paper on a roll. Spending our money like toilet paper on a roll. You guys have a problem with that? I'm just saying. Let me say hello to everybody in the stream. If I've missed you, I do apologize. I'm just kind of talking right now. But I just said that none of this stuff is fruitful. None of it. So let me get the logic here. Or should I apply logic to something that doesn't have logic? It's not supposed to, right? So people break into the country and they get rewarded because they're traumatized or may be traumatized. Is that our fault? I'm just saying. So you're going to get rewarded for breaking into the country. And then yeah, so I can't see. So this is supposed to be also based on claims, okay? Class action lawsuits, I believe, is what I'm seeing in these. So let's go into this just a smidge here. And then I promise I'll move us on because this is, I have a palate cleanser for you. I don't know if you've seen this, but we do a couple of more things. There'll be audio and media on these next ones. So yeah, but I just like how do they justify this? I mean, is this a distraction? How likely is this to happen? I don't know. And they're saying this is all because Trump had instituted the zero tolerance policy at the United States-Mexico border in 2018 to reduce illegal immigration. Okay, so but from what I understand, many of these nations receive some level of foreign aid. So how would you give them reparations when they're already receiving that? It's beyond unnerving at this point. Yeah, but how about we all just go out and come back? Go out and come back. Will we be treated differently? Will we be treated better? And say you identify. Is that what we do? I mean, but see, here again, to me, it's crimes against. They create these crises, and then they figure out how to spend the American taxpayers' money to drive their agenda. So it's just a web, and we're just, I don't know how this is going to stop. I really don't. We're really in deep at this point. Hello to DJ Vision Barnett. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. Jermaine G's here. Jermaine G says, maybe I should break in the country as well LOL. Hey, easy. But I will tell you that I think Will Johnson of Unite America First, a lot of people are going down to the border and they're actually seeing, they're going down to the river. Was it Yuma, Texas? They're there and they're seeing, you know, the intake. They're going through interviews. Let me see if I can share that one with you guys. I mean, this live stream could go on for a long time if I'm not careful. But there's a lot of stuff out. There's a lot of people doing a lot of in the trenches kind of work also on their own platforms. And yeah, so I always encourage you guys, you know, check out other things, of course. So let me see if I can get us to let me see if I can get us to let you guys see just a little bit of that. But thank you guys so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys for hitting the like button or the unlike button. You know, it definitely gets us on the radar. Some radar. Okay, so I'm going to try to pull that up for you. And I want to take you to that Bronx clip as well. So yeah, I mean, it's like the more you see this stuff, the more frustrating it can be. But I think it's important that you get to see as much as you can. So I'm going to try to pull this up really quickly and just show you a little bit from Will's coverage down at the border. I think he was there today, or either it was like really early this morning, very much dark out. It was very much dark outside when he was showing the footage there. So what I am, you know, I think that, you know, I think there's a lot going on. And I think there's a lot of things that are not really effective that are going on. So I do apologize for the delay here, but thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. But we do have a story. We have a couple of more stories here because I don't want to take too much time on these. Hang on a second. I have a comment here from Joseph Francis Burton who says, my wife immigrated here from Philippines, did all the paperwork, passed all the tests, became a U.S. citizen, and these incentives for illegal entry infuriate her. I'm sure, without a doubt. Thank you for sharing that. I don't know. I mean, what do you think the chances are? How likely do you think this is going to be? That it's actually going to happen. I mean, I don't know if this is like something to just kind of get everybody off while there's something else going on. So I'm going to try to show you just a little bit of this if I can. I'm telling you, the shadow banning has gotten worse, believe it or not. If that's possible. If it's possible. Wow. Okay. So maybe I think they sometimes kind of ruin things. Hold on a second here. All right. So I'm double fisting videos tonight. But I did put the link out if anybody wants to tag in on this one. But what I want to do is I'm going to take a quick break and I'll come back and hopefully I'll get this together for you. All right, guys. Thanks so much. I'll be right back. All right, guys. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to share this Bronx story with you. it takes place in the Chipotle in the Bronx, and what's happening to a guy that's actually he either ordered food or trying to order food, and I want you to see what's happening there. So I'm going to throw a little caution to the wind here. It is a Friday night, and for those of you that are celebrating Halloween, maybe you'll be spooked by this one. Luciano says alleged ISIS terror threat prompts increased security. The demo KK rats trying to push mail in. Of course. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to share this screen with you. I hope I can successfully do it because I think it's I'm not going to play the whole thing, but Joe is out of New York. She was an educator, lost her job over the mocktail mandates, and she's almost, I think, made this her full-time gig. So I'd love for you guys to be able to give her your attention and see what happens in this Chipotle. So she is certainly making a lot of noise and bringing a lot of people in. So we'll see what happens. She's getting a lot of responses out of there. So I'm going to share the screen with you. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. Let me know if you can't hear, and I will do my best to make it better for you.
Sir? Y'all better start looking it up. American Disability Act, HIPAA laws.
Do you see how she's not even wearing a mask?
The Constitution. No. Start reading your rights. This man has rights.
But check out the cashier doesn't even have the mask over her face.
Oh, of course not.
Completely.
She barely has it on too.
Oh, she only put it on when we came in here, started flipping.
Guys, so go to the other live that I put in and screen record the video. Made this go viral. This needs to go viral.
Grand Concourse. This is 260 something, I guess, East 160.
¿Qué le molestaba a usted de darle la comida al señor? How hard was that? ¿Qué tan difícil es darle la comida al señor? It would have taken you guys 2 seconds. 2 seconds to get that man his food, his receipt, and he could have walked out. Now, guess what? If he wants to sue Chipotle, he should sue. It's discrimination.
He can. He's fully vaccinated. He can.
Nada más siguiendo órdenes.
Como under HIPAA rights. Under HIPAA rights, he doesn't have to tell you why you're not wearing a mask. Under HIPAA rights.
Just like the Nazis.
They're following orders. They're following orders, right? How are you guys going to sleep at night today knowing that you guys just follow orders?
They're going to go home and laugh about this because they think this shit is funny. It's not.
They don't care. You don't care, right? Just following orders, right?
I can't.
No, not you. I'm talking about them. Just following orders. Just following orders. What if this man was your father or your uncle and someone did that to him? Or your grandfather? Over some masked bullshit while he's fully vaccinated.
And where's the police? Y'all called them a good long time ago.
Sorry about the profanity.
I'll give you guys the address.
It's a big bar in New York City.
Do you have Instagram?
Huh?
Do you have Instagram?
I got Gmail. You want my Gmail?
Yeah, Joy, do me a favor. Take this man's Gmail. Take his information. He doesn't have Instagram.
I don't understand how you guys are confused. That's what's killing me the most.
And don't say that you don't. They'll say that you don't have a choice because I just lost my job with the mandates. You have a choice. Everyone has a choice. Following orders is not a good excuse. Wow. We only came here to use the bathroom, by the way. And then we walked in the middle of it. And they're just there looking at us like we're the ones that are the problem, but they're the ones denying someone food. They don't care. We already spoke with them. They don't care.
You don't get it or you don't want it.
And they put a temporary close sign because this man walked in here without a mask. A temporary close sign because of the mask. You would think someone came in here with a gun or trying to rob them or some crap like that over a freaking mask.
They're not there. So I said to them, what they gonna do when a robber runs up in here and you call 911? They're not coming. They're not coming. He called 911 and no one picked up. What does that tell you? It's a change in history. You're shrugging your shoulders when someone comes up and puts a gun to your face. What you gonna do? No. Well, there's no need for me to lower my tone.
We're talking, and guess what? You taking down your mask, right? Because you think this is funny. You taking down your mask, and I'm gonna make this video go viral. Since you want to be funny, I'm gonna make this video go viral, showing your face with your mask on like a freaking hypocrite.
Then you only talk to me if I lower my tone.
Like a freaking hypocrite.
Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys heard that. I gave you a little bit of update. This is out of the Bronx, New York, at the Chipotle, and they're basically kind of doing a bit of a boycott because they're not letting this black guy get his food. He's fully mocktailed. They're kind of trying to let him know, wake up. You know, you have rights. You don't have to take this. They've already called the cops. The cops aren't here, and I'll stop talking. Thanks so much for tuning in.
So I'm supposed to lower my tone to this? I'm supposed to be okay with this? This is not okay.
Freaking hypocrite.
It's not okay. I'm waiting for the police.
¿Qué le cuesta a ustedes darle la comida al señor para que se vaya? Just give the man his food and walk, get out of here. Seriously, make an exception for today. Give the man his freaking food. At the end of the day, the money that he's gonna put in is gonna go, some of it is gonna go in your pocket. Stop following orders. Si ponen una vaina, if they put a sign saying you can't service black people, you're gonna follow orders too, right? If they put a sign that says you can't service Jewish people, you guys are gonna do it too, right? If they put a sign that says you're not gonna service Mexicans, you're gonna do it too, right? Because following orders, right? Following orders, right?
They don't care. All they care about is their paycheck.
No, they think this is a joke. Let's put a sign that says no Mexicans allowed. Let's do that. No Mexicans and no blacks. First of all, don't come to me with that shit because I'm Dominican. Do not come to me. And what you're doing right now is medical discrimination, which is medical racism, by the way. Oh, now that's racist because I mentioned Mexicans. But when I mentioned blacks and Jews, you didn't say anything about that being racist, right? Freaking hypocrite. Freaking hypocrite. Freaking hypocrite.
That's wild.
Oh, the word Mexican is wrong. The word Mexican, but when I said black and Jewish people, he didn't say that was racist. Freaking hypocrite. I advise you to keep your mouth shut. That's what I'm gonna advise you. You, security guard. Keep your mouth shut. That's what I'm gonna advise you. Let's put a sign that says no Latinos allowed. And I'm Dominican, I can say that. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, that's racist. But when I say no black people, you didn't say anything, right? So it's okay for you to be racist against this black man, right? It's okay for you to discriminate against the black man, right? No, like I told you, I advise you to keep your mouth shut because you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Keep your mouth shut because they're not paying you enough. They're not paying none of you enough to do this crap anyways. You would have given the man his food, he would have been left. And you would have bought yourself a problem. Stop following orders. Because it could be your father or your mother next somewhere else. How is that going to feel?
I don't understand. Where's your guys' empathy? Where's your common sense? It's literally like they don't give a shit. They don't have any feeling. They don't have any like humanity in them.
No, they don't care. No humanity, right? Ustedes no tienen un corazón, ninguno de ustedes tienen un corazón. Que le hagan eso a un papá de ustedes o a su mamá o a su abuelo o a su abuela. por una estúpida mascarilla. Le hubiesen dado la comida y se hubiesen evitado un problema, porque el señor está vacunado. Y aún así, si no estuviera vacunado, ¿dónde está el corazón y la compasión de ustedes? ¿Dónde está? Siguiendo órdenes. Si ponen un aviso que no pueden entrar gente negra, ustedes van a seguir órdenes. Ponen un aviso que no mexicanos van a seguir órdenes. En serio, siguiendo órdenes. We've been here for more than half an hour. More than half an hour.
They're not coming.
More than half an
They're
hour.
not coming.
A ustedes lo que les gusta es sentir el poder de control. You guys just like to feel like you guys are in control of this. Because I don't understand. You could have given this man his food a long time ago.
And fed all the 20 people that would have been rotating in and out of here. So much for your store's numbers and inventory.
Now I am going to put the location of this store. And I hope you guys call and report that they denied a black man that's fully vaccinated service. Since we're going to talk about that's racist. Especially on the climate that we live today, y'all better be real careful what y'all be doing.
Number one point is they're not doctors. Can't tell anyone anything of what to do medically. You're not doctors. You're not physicians. Can't tell anyone to wear a mask. This is not a doctor's office. They're giving vaccines at the train station. So now we're going to talk about, oh, we need to wear a mask inside a restaurant. It's absolutely unreal. It's unreal. I don't understand. It's
Because they like to feel the sense of having control and power.
It's a Napoleon company.
This job don't even pay y'all enough to be doing this bullshit.
What, 10, 15 an hour?
And this is not to say anything, because listen, I've never made that much money myself. All right? And I'm not saying that their job is not important. They're not important people themselves, because I don't care about how much you make, but it's about the fact that they're just sitting there like a bunch of freaking slaves. Oh, we're just following orders.
All right, guys. So I just wanted you to get a little bit of what's going on in New York, and that actually this particular girl is bringing a lot of light to what's happening there, and she's actually bringing a lot of attention. I think they've had quite a few rallies and protests. I'm not sure if the Kyrie Irving was if that protest was a part of it. I do believe so, but I think they're trying to wake up. New York's trying to wake up, and it took teachers losing their jobs, and she was a teacher herself that actually lost her job due to the mocktail mandates. So I thank you guys as always, and I have one more clip for you, and I think this is pretty informative. It's actually what I was referring to earlier with the border, and it's actually going to come from Will Johnson on his page, Unite America First. So I'll give you a little bit on that, and I will be right back right after this. Guys, sorry about that, the delay there. This next clip that we're going to go into, I'm going to give you a little bit from the border. I think this is will give you the coverage and the location and all, and then actually you're going to hear from people that are there and some of the findings that are quite disturbing. So here again, this is a spooky kind of Friday, And we'll see how spooked you are just yet. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you need audio assistance, let me know. All right, I'm going to rewind back just a little bit and we'll go right here.
Yeah. Come on this side, man. Give us some light there.
Your family
Come this
came
way,
here
Devin, so
from,
Ben can
from
get in.
Colombia.
Yep.
Tell us your story.
Well, I was born here in the U.S., but my parents came over from Colombia in the 70s, legally. My mom met with me. She was like, go back to about 2 years. Do is you respect the country's laws, and that's the way that they did it.
What did they think of what's happening there?
Absolutely horrified. I mean, I don't care what any media outlet tells you. Nobody's in support of this. This is the destruction of the country.
And you're not racist if you disagree with it. The Hispanics that live down here, the people of Hispanic descent, Latin descent, they're probably more upset. The people that I meet because of what it's doing to their community.
Yeah.
You know,
It affects them directly.
you're talking about, especially you came from Colombia, your family did. You know what the gangs down there, the drugs down there, all of that, the corruption down there, and now you see that coming to America.
That's what you escape and you come to America to escape from, and now it's right in your backyard. I mean, town Texas doesn't even feel like America. It feels like it's sent to Mexico.
Is this your first time to the border?
Yeah, first time.
Wow. So for everyone that's watching, it's different being here versus watching it.
100%. That's why I had to see it with my own eyes. I had to. It's, you can't even put it into words, almost. It's like the humanitarian crisis of our lifetime.
And the crazy thing, you say that humanitarian, the left uses that same term, but the reality is they're what's driving
Yep.
it.
Right.
Exactly.
They're creating this crisis.
We found baby shoes, little girls' jeans on the side in the dirt.
No, and that's it. I mean, the kids that are being molested and raped and exploited along the way.
I think this is fun for them.
State except for Arizona. I've heard every single state in the country.
That's what they're going to?
Yeah. Massachusetts, Arkansas, Virginia, they're going all over the place.
Really?
Sorry about the buffering, guys. This was a live coverage.
Oh, that's live on Facebook in months.
Oh yeah, that's
And
right.
I can't get over 140 live viewers. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, guys. It's ridiculous. But so, Anthony, just say what you just said again. Come over here so
Yeah.
the Will's camera can get
Turn
you.
this way.
Sorry, guys.
You're good.
You can stay here.
So they're basically going into every single state in the country. I just asked every single individual behind me. The only state I will say that I did not hear was Arizona or New Mexico.
Nevada.
Nevada.
So you went around. You were asking them where they're headed.
Yes.
What state? And they named off just about every state except for Arizona.
As soon as one starts naming off, I just move the camera down the line, and then they all start naming the
So
states.
it's
Really?
It's already predetermined. So most
Well,
of
they
them,
get to go wherever they want.
yeah, but it's most of them claim that they're going to be going. The thing about it is they give a name, they give an address, they give a state, but they don't know the actual individual that they're going to. They know that the sponsor is in Arizona or in Florida. That's actually one of the states that I heard the most is Miami, Florida. So they have a piece of paper in their pocket that has the name and a phone number to the individual that's basically going to be, what is the term that I'm looking for? Sponsoring them.
Trafficking.
So there's kids down here that are meeting parents that are here illegally, and they're legally receiving illegal migrant children down here. So we're basically, this is all looking like to me like we are part of the global compact for migration. I've tried to do research and try to look up to see if there's any actual paperwork or any evidence that Joe Biden may have stuck us in there. I've not yet found it, but this all leads.
Yeah.
Don't let them lie. They have the funds to fly them to any city in the U.S. They can certainly do that to send them back home.
Oh yeah. And fly them back home, then we'd be housing them and taking care of them for the next 6 to 7 years. Because as the left loves to drive this narrative, they're here to work. They're here to work. If they were here to work, they would have filled out their paperwork properly. They would have gone through all the proper protocols. The minute this
Just buffering. It was live earlier this morning, so I appreciate the patience.
asylum, they're not available. Work is not even an option for them because they're here waiting on a political asylum pretense. So they're going to be waiting for 6 to 7 years because our immigration court system is so farly clogged and backed up that they're going to be on your tax dollars for the next 6 to 7 years. Medical, housing, education, the whole 9 yards. And in those 6 to 7 years, how many of these people are not going to reproduce within the country? And when they find out that they don't qualify for a political asylum, the left is, how are you going to deport parents of American citizens? We're getting into some really muddy waters with all this.
It'll
Yeah.
be 50 million people by that point that are here. What do
We
you
already
think?
have 50
Yeah,
million.
I know.
Sure.
Let me. I want to check the settings here.
Okay, guys. So yeah, I just wanted to show you a little bit of that. Just wanted to give you a little bit of that clip from Will Johnson's Unite America First. And Will does a really good job, and he's definitely independent. He's an independent journalist, and he is definitely viewer sponsored. But the thing about Will, I actually see the fruit of his labor. He's not, he gets out and he gets in the trenches, and people support him because they actually get to see things that you're not going to see on MSNBC or CNN, or you're not going to see this. You're not going to get this coverage from those sources. You're just not going to. So, you guys spooked yet? I don't know. Pretty good. Pretty unnerving things happening, and I think that's actually going to be the case. I think until this next election cycle. I mean, am I pumped? Am I excited about this next? No, I'm not. And I'm just leveling with you. The same things are in place. The same people are in. The same people that were able to do what they did before are in place. And I just, I can't pin my hopes to, things changing. Like, these people are not going to relinquish power. They are not. Yeah. At this point, it's almost they're not going to relinquish their sword either. So I just think that, let's go Brandon, it's cute and all, but it's going to take a little bit more than that. I'm afraid, we all want to feel good, and music regulates that really well, and move. We want to move a little bit, but I say move a little bit, I'm saying dancing. I'm referring to dancing. And we all want a beautiful distraction, and to release some stress, but it's going to take more than that. I'm afraid. So, but I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in, and on your, this is a dark weekend, or whatever you do with the weekend. Who knows? It's raining around here, so we'll see what happens. But I want to read a couple of comments, and thank you guys. But before I do, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Spooked Yet on this Friday. Okay. So I thank you guys so much. So I guess I was saying all of that to say that, this is not congratulations. This is not the paywall channel. If you've been around for over 6 months to a year, then you figure that out by now. So yeah, and I just think that we've done a lot of things to, it's almost like we're in a cell and we're occupying our time with just whatever whatever we can, whatever we have right now. Right now, it's starting to feel like we have the power to amuse a mob right now. And to me, that doesn't feel good. I don't care what you call your movement. I don't care what you're trying to move forward. I just don't think we don't have the right tools. I don't have the answers either. And that's why I put the link out there, and I'll drop it there again. Let me just AZ Infidels here. It's been a lifetime. How are you doing, AZ? DJ Vision's here. So DJ says he'll be getting on tonight. So thank you, DJ. You guys check DJ out if you're around. You can. And Joseph Francis Burton. Yeah, so we got a lot happening. This voter base is, they'll call it anything. Buying votes. That's what we do. Now we're down to buying votes and calling it reparations. Okay, that's always right. Right. You just dangle the carrot in front of the stepping stones. In the meanwhile, you're trying to pay. You're just trying to pay for as many votes as you can. I mean, this is totally delegitimizes everything. I mean, yeah. Is there no shame? Okay, so let me just read. AZ Infidel says, listen to Dr. Steve Turley. He has a different outlook on things. Thank you for that, Steve Turley. Is that Steve Turley out of the constitutional scholar from the Trump from the hearings? I'm not sure if that's the same one or not, but he's a voice of reasoning. I said the adult in the room. And DJ Vision Barnett says, more than a chant and mantra, we have to move it in motion. And DJ Vision says, I'll come in tonight and do a spooky show. Yeah, I don't, spooks. And AC Infidel says, be careful putting a sheet over your head. Yeah, you won't find that over here. Yeah, I'm not pulling out any Halloween doodads. I'm not really celebrating Halloween. I think I'm kind of done with that era. If I had a pet, I wouldn't even dress my pet up. I don't think I would. Okay, no Toto costumes or none of that. AZ says they're still setting us up to react to what they are doing. And AZ says I've been working on solar. Very interesting, AZ. Nice to see you, as always. All right, guys, I'm going to run one more infomercial. And by the way, I did not forget. I will get that. I have to get that handle out for the Discord. And Anthony Van Zant's here. Thank you so much. Luciano's here. And I'll take a quick little. I'm gonna take a quick little break and come right back and say salute to everyone and wish you guys a great weekend. And don't get spooked wherever you are, or if you are spooked, you can work it out. See if you can work it out before Monday. All right, I will be right back. All right, guys, thank you so much. So we'll get into some other things on the next segment of Black Spring with On, but there was just so many things, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. So let's start from the top on our Spooked Yet Friday, and we had Tyrant Spain TDOA. Thank you so much, Tyrant Spain TDOA, for hanging around and for supporting us and always keeping things, keeping things honest, or invigorating the conversation in our chat room. You Stupid Foo, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. Anthony Van Zant's here. Thank you so much. Luciano's here, or was here. And Anarchy Television, I almost missed it. Anarchy Television, thank you so much for coming in. And I'm behind on your videos, but I'm going to get over there. Yes, indeed, I will. And Jermaine G, thank you so much for coming in. And DJ Vision Barnett. And just FYI, DJ Vision Barnett says he's going live. He may go live. I'm not sure. So if you can catch it, then you'll be in for a treat, without a doubt. And Logan La, thank you so much for coming in. Joseph Francis Burton, thank you so much for tuning in and supporting us like you always do. And thank you for those inspirational videos and giving us life lessons and stick-to-itiveness. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Those are pick-me-ups, whether you're watching from work, it's like you're holding on to that last 3 hours, or you got that last 2 hours of work, and you just don't think you can make it. And then I think about one of Joseph Francis Burton's videos on just getting in and just settling into the challenge and getting it done. When you don't think you can, get it done. When you don't think you can, just keep going. Thank you, Joseph Francis Burton. I appreciate it. AZ Infidel, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And Latin Patriots here, I appreciate it. Without a doubt, I will have that for you soon. I will be putting it up on the community tab for sure. So yeah, not to worry there, AZ Infidel. And then I had Angry Conservative ask me about that as well. So I'm going to get it done. I just this week has been a little bit crazy, but almost done, and I'll should settle into things this weekend. But I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in, and have a great rest of a great start to your weekend. And try not to get too spooked or remain spooked for the rest of the weekend. I guess get out and do something fun, even if it's a bread bowl and entertainment. Let's see, I have a comment from Latin Patriot. She says, Biden, Harris, and their goons are very spooky. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They come in they wear many hats. And I'm not talking about the one AZ was mentioning, easy on the costumes. Easy. All right, guys. I will see you on the next live stream and comment section on the video, and who knows what else.